Hey guys, Timber here, back with another video, and in this video, I'm going to be playing Firewatch. This is one of my favorite games ever. Reason being, it's really pretty, good graphics, kind of that TF2 kind of cartoony style. It's really funny, like some of the lines in this are really, really hilarious. And it's just a fun game, like there's no combat or anything, you just kind of hike through the woods. It's like a movie that you control. It's really fun. Anyway, let's start a new game. I've already completed this, as you can see in the first file slot. I'm going to be starting a new game, so let's get into it. Now I will have to be doing a lot of reading through the intro. There's like a big intro that's starting it off. Also, excuse me if I stutter. I tend to read really fast, causing me to stutter. It's kind of a habit I have. It's kind of hard not for me to do. And I also kind of don't want it to be really slow. I'll try to slow it down a little bit, try not to stutter. I'll do my best. Boulder, Colorado, 1975. You see Julia. She's about your age, late 20s, laughing with well-dressed professors and grad students from nearby CU Boulder. You, Henry, are out drinking with your pals. You approach her. You are drunk. So, what's your, major? You're pretty. I'm gonna do, so, what's your, major? It's kind of funny. You slur the word major and it smells like Coors. You give an awkward smile. Evolutionary biology, she says, and I'm a professor. Cool, you reply. What's yours, she asks. She sniffs the air. Toxicology? Was that a burn, you ask? She says, definitely. Worried she hurt your feelings. She asks if you want to split a cheeseburger. 1 week later, you're Julia's boyfriend. Backpack. Throw it on. Head out to my truck. Never really looked around here to see what there is. Oh, I didn't know you could go up here. Just gonna see what's up here, because I've never actually been up here. Like in the entire time I've played the game. Huh. Didn't even know that was there. Interesting. Anyway, let's get in our truck. Wrong button. I pressed X. You date for over a year. She drives you absolutely nuts. It's great. You move in. You share an apartment near the school with a view of the mountains. You two drink beers out on the deck. You drink beer just about everywhere. Life is good. Julia wants to get a dog. There's a scruffy, undersized beagle. Julia is in love. She wants to bring it with her to class. There's also an intimidating but gentle-eyed German shepherd. Nothing bad could happen to Julia while walking this dog. It's a bad, yeah, you get it. I'm gonna go with the beagle this time. Usually I would get the German shepherd, but I think I'm gonna go with the beagle. Bucket. Bucket's a good dog, and a week later you've totally forgotten about the other one. Julia loves him. You love him too. 1979. You talk out on the deck. It's summer, 9:30 p.m., and the heat still radiates off the high desert. What do you think about kids? She asks. Kids? They're not very smart or good at much. I'm saying if you and I have a couple little idiots. One day, why rush? She looks away, out towards the mountains. We have plenty of time, right? Speak for yourself, mister. Don't worry, you assure her. You tell her she has the body of an undergrad. My ovaries didn't get the memo, she says, laughing it off. One day, okay? Okay, one day, she says. 6 months later, you get engaged, lying in bed on a Sunday morning. Alrighty, Thoroughfare Trailhead. It's the area that we're gonna be a fire lookout. Oh, wait, spoilers. It's not much of a spoiler because the game's called Firewatch. 1980, it's a Thursday night and Julia is 4 hours late. She doesn't call. You're worried and getting angrier by the minute. She walks in after you've gone to bed. She's not quite drunk, but she's clearly been having a fun time. You fight when she gets between the sheets. I'm gonna ignore her. You don't touch each other all night. The next day you feel guilty for being so angry and ask her about her evening. She says it was great. You hold on to a tiny pill of resentment. You make some coffee and go to work. 1981. Julia still likes to draw. She draws plants from her research. She draws all the places you go. She draws you. Let's frolic like a Victoria's Secret model. Very nice. Now with that, you will have to see your character posing like that, but they're not clothed. I'll censor that though. Kind of want a family-friendly channel here. That means, you know, no nudity would help with that. I mean, I know it's like a video game, but still. Think about the children. This is really pretty right here. During the summers, you and Julia enjoy walking Bucket at night. There's a festival in town. It brings in folks from faraway places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife. Well, that's crappy. Bucket gets kicked. Oh, with the German Shepherd, he just runs away, but this dog gets friggin' kicked. Wow. Bye. Censored word. Dog, Julia yells. She gets flustered and has trouble speaking when she is stressed. You confront the attacker. We'll beat his face in. Your arm gets cut up, but you beat the guy to a pulp. You don't feel very tough. You cry your eyes out before the cops show up. Julia asks to take a different path from that day forward. You say okay. You don't want to go that way either. From then on, you walk by the river. I don't get why they didn't just walk by the river in the first place. In my opinion, that would be a better place to walk. It'd be nicer. Plans to have kids get waylaid by work. Julia gets offered a job at Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job. Associate department chair. She wants to move. You absolutely do not. Let's agree. I'm going to agree if she commutes back and forth just because I don't really like convincing her not to take the job is kind of a butthole move if you think about it. You ask her if she'll commute back and forth. You don't want to move to Connecticut. She says that'll be hard, but she'll do it if you won't move. You tell her not to pass it off if it's what she wants. She agrees. She flies to Boulder 3 times each semester. 1985, Julia is sent home from Yale on paid leave after having a quote-unquote episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important to her research. She didn't remember she had happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. She was found crying in a stairwell. You say that maybe you guys should talk to someone about it. You make macaroni and drink wine and try to forget about it. I'm gonna make macaroni and drink wine. It works. You watch Dallas on TV and sleep together on the couch. And look away. I'm probably going to censor it, but, you know, look away anyway, I guess. I don't know. It's not that bad, but look away if you want to. I'm probably going to censor it, though, so no worries. Bucket is getting older. Julia comments that it's kind of nice because he gets in less trouble around the house. A week later, she goes back to the university. Julia's affliction gets worse. She can't remember things in class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. She is devastated. She is sent home on permanent medical leave. That would really suck. Some days you get the Julia who calls you a dope and your unborn children little idiots. Other days you get a stranger. She pulls you into bed to make love. After 5 minutes, she goes into a panic, believing her dad is at the door. You tell her family. They are crushed and begin to make trips to and from their home in Australia to visit her. For a while, your friends come by with little things to brighten the day. She gets worse. 1988. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else, somewhere with 24-hour care, a home. It sits with you for a couple of months. We'll move her into a full-time care facility. I believe that's kind of pretty good choice. Ooh, this is a pretty cool part. Just wait for it. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's kind of cool. Slowly walk at this part. Right there. It's an elk. It's kind of cool. He just prances away. Her family agrees with your decision. You find a fantastic place in Boulder and move her there. You see her every day, then every other day. You go out to the bar with your old friends. It's not the same. You get the feeling that every wife tells her husband, "If you ever put me in a home like Henry did, I will cut your balls off." You slowly decide not to see your old friends that much. Julia's sister Susan moves to Boulder to be closer to her. She visits her every day. You go with her some of the time. Susan buys you an old typewriter and urges you to use it if you won't see a therapist. You won't. You've always really liked Susan. Months go by. Bucket dies. Julia doesn't remember him when you tell her. Sometimes it takes her a minute to lock in on you. In the back of your mind, you believe it's because you see her less and less. And seeing her less and less makes her forget you more. You think summer is coming and you see an ad in the paper for a job. You take it. And that job is Firewatch, obviously, because that's what the game's about. And you're a fire lookout, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it gets pretty weird. The story is really good, though, and it's hilarious. Anyway, that's where I'm going to stop the video, though. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and tune in for the next video in the series if you want to see more Firewatch. And I will see you in the next video. Not next video.